I just don't know what the deal is with
Grab the bottle and...
Yeah. All right, you are live, and we have no comments, so I'm going to go ahead and check the phone. And I restarted it. They say that
Yeah,
if
I
you
know.
don't, it'd be nice if I could know if I'm going to have problems with comments before we go live. But I restarted it like they say to do, and that didn't seem to work.
This shit still doesn't work. Did you hear me? See that? I enunciated shit.
So I'll go look on the page. Before we go live. Oop. I guess I should. Oh, we got a whole bunch of people saying hello. Okay, guys, guess what? No comments tonight on the old switcher. So we got Scott Vreel, John Sacchetti, Jackie Moore, Deborah Stevens, Brenda, Mary Carlson, Linda Sue Brown, Vicky. Hi, you guys. Patricia Otten. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm rubbing my hands together because please send cash. Lisa won't turn the heat up.
Oh my gosh.
I have to do something. I'm freezing.
You are just a...
Hey, I'm drinking tonight. I had a couple of these left. I'm trying to drink up all the beer I have. And this is a Dangful IPA. It says generously hoppy. And it's 7.4% alcohol. It's by Sierra Nevada Brewery. So, next time we go out to California, they have a brewery in Chico, which I didn't know. And I've been through Chico, which is up on the way to Redding, where my cousin used to live, Lois.
Hi, Marianne. Hi, Debbie. Got Karen Jones watching, Renee Morris, Kathy Richard Schweitzer.
Awesome.
Yeah. Carrie Mills Mossholder. Welcome, you guys.
Renee, did you say Renee Morris?
Did I?
Our old neighbor.
Yes, I did.
She used to live behind us in where Teresa and Mary live. Let me see what happened. I got a nice letter today from some of our friends. Now I can't think of it.
Yeah, Scott Vreel said, I've been zucked again. Likely.
Marcia Fields sent me a nice little note about these videos, about the music, some music stuff I post, and about pictures of Mr. Wiggles. He stopped over tonight too. He was had to have his hat pulled down. He's got an ear infection, and I'm sure it's from the other day when he was out in the wind and didn't have his hat on. I try to keep him clothed, but he said tomorrow when he said he was going to come over tomorrow, and I said it's supposed to be really warm tomorrow, and he goes, good. He goes, I'm going to be in shorts. I go, no, you're not. 60 degrees, and he thinks he can be in shorts. But anyway, what else went on this week? Well, we did the big pinch-a-thon. Wasn't that on Monday, Lisa?
Yeah.
Where we scissor hand all the plants, and
Yes.
and I can't believe how when I'm watering in there the last couple of days, how many have buds coming back up on them, and that they're growing really fast. Mm-hmm. So and things are looking good. I did my video today and showed you guys like my peppers, and I'm going to do all the transplanting of some of those on Monday. Quinn did the herbs, did some thyme, cilantro, and oregano this week. He transplanted for me that I sowed, and I think that's about it. What we're going to do tonight is kind of talk about landscaping. I don't think we really talk a lot about it. We don't do a lot of advertising of it, except for me verbally saying it on a video here and there. We keep pretty busy with it, calls and stuff, and that's basically the way we get the stuff now, either through Facebook or somebody calls the shop and leaves a message and that. But anyway, it's pretty simple. I'm old school now. Some of you might have had people come out and do a drawing or whatever for landscaping, and that it was all done on a computer. I'm not that guy. I do everything by hand. I don't know. I just feel it's a little personal touch on it. And some of the stuff I use, I don't know if you can see this. This is just a little stencil that has different things on it.
No computer design software for you?
No, no.
You're probably smart. Hey, we got a question already.
Oh, okay.
Debbie Schumann wants to know if it's time to start her Harry Balls
Yeah.
seeds.
Yep, I started mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is just a template, and it's got trees. These are evergreens. The little pointy things are evergreens. And they have some other circles, and then this is like flagstone walkway and that. And then, of course, just a regular ruler. I mean, these are simple things that I use. I use this a lot, the short one, because I don't have to make big lines or whatever like that. And then sometimes when I'm making the shapes of the beds, and these are from, these French curves are probably 40 some years old, maybe 45 years old. Well, they're at least 40 years old. I had them from when I was at Sauk, and I use them every once in a while. But simple stuff, and plus these, so I can see what the hell I'm doing. If you want to put on Scott, we're just going to show, Lisa's got some pictures. She's going to show the one where I go out like and get measurements, not the drawing done.
Okay.
The rough drawing.
You want Scott Hibbard's?
Yeah.
If I can see it. These are little. Yeah, there's the Hibbert sketch.
And most of the time, if you guys can see on the computer up in the corner, is something that's real important, where it says 1 square equals 2 feet. So, sometimes depending on, and I'll show you another drawing that I've got, a square might be 1 foot, and sometimes I've had huge areas. I think like the St. John's Memorial Garden that I did 1 square equals 3 feet. So when I'm out drawing and stuff like that. And the other thing that's handy is my phone's on the charger. You wouldn't believe how handy it is to snap pictures of the area. And as I'm doing the drawing and stuff, it just helps looking like, oh, was there a big tree there? Because I want to make sure it's shade, is that shade or whatever. And I'll write that stuff down too, sometimes on the drawings where it's shady. And if there's any plants that if it's an existing garden and there's stuff in there, I'm a firm believer of not trashing everything just to be able to plant new stuff. But if there's anything that I think is salvageable and would look good and we can move around in that, I use it, and then I'll put it in the drawing as I'm doing it. So I'm just not a real big believer, and you have to throw everything out. Now, today when we were at Jim Murtis's, Denny Beck and I, basically, there's rock. It's really messy, and it doesn't look good to me. And I talked with Jim, and I think we're going to take everything. There's 3 evergreens up front I think we're going to keep for right now, but Denny's going to take everything else out and all the rock out and that, and then we're going to go from there with a clean slate and see where it happens, what we can do there. But anyway, this is Scott Hibbard's house. This is phase, I think this will be phase 2. And if you want to go to the drawing, Lisa, Scott's drawing.
Hopefully, it's hard for me to see it, but I think I got it.
It's the biggest one.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the corner.
No.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
This is the back of Scott's house, and you can see on the one side, it just kind of ends. Like the line ends and there's nothing else. That's because Scott's got a door there that if you walked out, you'd drop 4 feet. So, he hasn't got his deck or hasn't decided exactly what he's going to do there. So I told him I was only going to go to that first little window. And you can see on the drawing where there's like little bumps out. You can see the house, the frame of the house. And then there's like they're little bumps. Those are windows. And I like to put those in because then I know, like, well, I don't want to cover them up. Or sometimes if I want to put a hibiscus near there so when they're looking out that window, they can see the big flowers. I like to do stuff like that. And the plants that I use are, we don't have a huge selection. I can get other stuff in. Sometimes I do. Are just plants that I have used and know that they're hardy and know how they grow and are just really just good plants. And when I do the bed design, and it took me like 3 or 4 times to draw this out so that where I liked it, that's why I always do it in pencil first, because erasers, are great. The other thing I always say about pencil is I tell the accountant, I said, it's great, do it in pencil because you just can erase and write the right numbers down. And then that way it all looks good.
Jeez.
Why use a pen? I'll drink to the IRS.
Mary made mention. She said, "Bud did our raised garden beds, which has allowed me to continue my hobby because I can't get down on my hands and knees anymore." Also did some other major projects. Aaron Peterson's with us, and Joe Pisty's with us.
Aaron, man, that was a machine that's clearing off your property. I take it you're going to build a house there, Aaron. He sent me a video of that grinder, and I wouldn't want to get in the way with that. Of course, the mafia probably could use that because it'd probably grind somebody up pretty good where they wouldn't be able to tell who it was. But anyway, that was an interesting video. Thanks for sending it. I enjoy looking at that stuff. When Quinn was little, in between Sterling and Dixon, before they made everything 4-lane and widened it, they had to cut trees down, and they had this huge machine that was like scissors, and it had a thing, it would grab the tree and it would just go like this and just hack these trees off. And then they had a grinder that went over it, similar to what the picture you sent, Aaron, but it wasn't like a wheel, it was like a mowing deck with a grinder, and it ground up all the small twigs and stuff like that, made like mulch out of the stuff. So
He said yes, going to build. Karen Jones said that, when did you do her garage garden? She said 1,000,000 years ago. Do you remember that? Karen Jones? Wow.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Sometimes
I got to pick her
Sometimes 2
succulent
weeks
stuff.
feels like 1,000,000 years ago.
Well, it's funny, people say things and that. I was at the gas station this week. This has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with landscaping. But I was at the gas station this week getting gas before it went up to $4.19. And I saw a guy next to me, and it was an older gentleman. He said hi, and I said hi. And I got done, and he had went inside and came back out. And before I was leaving, I looked at his license plate, and it said Dres on it. And I go, man, that's got to be Ned Dresden. So he came out, and I stopped, and I go, hey, your last name Dresden? And he said, yeah. I said, are you Ned? And he goes, yeah. And I go, oh my gosh. I said, I told him who I was. He drilled our well out to the shop 23 years ago. So I talked to him, and lo and behold, he wanted my business card because they just bought a house down the road, and they want us to come and maybe clean some stuff up and do some trimming and things like that. So, it's always good. See, that's, when you're a bullshitter, you can always get work.
Yeah, Karen said it was when we first opened.
Boy, I don't remember that at all, Karen.
Long time ago.
Boy, I guess.
I mean, how many years is it now?
23.
Is it 23?
Well, it was 98.
98, and we have to do math. We have to do mental math. Oh my God.
No, 24. Holy shit, Batman. So anyway, back to the drawing. On Scott's, it was simple, and I tried to use some of the things.
Do you want it back up on the screen?
Yeah. I tried to use the front of Scott's house. We did, I think it was 2 years ago. We did the front of Scott's house, and some of the same plants. I try to have continuity to no matter where I go. If I'm working in the downtown in Sterling, and we're redoing beds, I try to use some of the same stuff I've used in another bed. I might use it in a different arrangement, but instead of just putting a bunch of different crap in and having it look like Plunkett landscaping, we used to call that when we were in college, I just try to use some of the same things, and it just looks better to me. And I've got Pinky Winky hydrangeas here because they get a little bit more. It gets more light on this side of the house.
Where do you have those on the drawing?
On they're number D on the drawing.
Yeah, but they're probably not going to be able to see that.
No. Anyway, I'm using hydrangeas on the back of his house because it gets more light. I'm using Pinky Winky, but on the front I used oak leaf, even though they're different hydrangeas now. The moonfrost hemlocks, which we don't have many coming in because there's a real shortage of plants. Anyway, I have some of those on the front of his house also. So, and then he wanted a couple small trees which are off to the side are the big circles, which are north winds maples. It's a great ornamental tree that only gets 15 to 20 feet tall. Looks like a Jap maple, real hardy. So, and these will be on the north side of Scott's yard. I mean, it's still going to get a lot of light because there's no trees to the west or anything, but it's on like the northwest side of his yard. But the North Winds maples are great. They look just like a Jap maple. Great foliage in the spring, orangey red. Kind of washes out to green during the summer, just with a light tinge of red. And then in the fall, it turns bright red orange. Great, great tree. Great tree. But anyway, and I try to make sure when I do the beds, if it comes up to a sidewalk, I don't go straight into the sidewalk because then you have to mow, whatever. I try to curve into the sidewalk. So if you want to run your mower right along it, you know, I just try to make the homeowner's job easy to maintain an edge on the bed and keep the grass down and things like that. We don't use edging a lot. We can, but normally we just dig down with a spade and then put mulch on it, up on it. But anyway, that's Scott's, and his was, like I said, just the back part of his house. And then I had, and I look, like I said, it's always best. I've had people, there was one guy in Geneseo that sent me just straight pictures, and it's real hard because I get a feel for, you know, going
The lay
there.
of the land.
Yeah, well, the lay of the land, if there's a slope, you know, I'll put arrows on my drawing going in a certain direction. That means there's a slope there. I might have to build a small wall if we're doing a bed so the stuff doesn't wash. But you just get an idea. I can go to the house and go immediately say, man, this is what would look really good. This next bed is really a simple bed. I mean, it's totally surrounded by either a driveway or a sidewalk.
Do you want the on-site sketch first?
Yeah. It's a simple
And then
one.
your drawing?
Yeah.
All right.
This is a simple bed. This is at CGH Hospital right out front, right close to where the mailbox is at. The tree's overgrown. Bob had asked me about trimming the tree, and I said, well, I was going to ask you about taking it out. And there's rock there. The bed doesn't look good. It just looks unkept compared to what we put out front. So instead of just taking the tree out, and there's a little bit of grass, the other thing on this bed, you know, there's like a little bit of grass there. Now, why the hell would you leave like a strip or two of grass to grow and have to put the mower up over the curb when you can make the whole freaking thing a bed? That doesn't mean you got to plant every single inch of it, but I just think some of the stuff is asinine to do. I mean, to make a guy bring a mower up and do that on a bed, it isn't worth it to me. So this was a pretty easy drawing. It's going to have a nice tree hydrangea in it, and some of the plants that are in this island, I'm going to call it an island bed, are some of the same plants that are in that 80-foot along the front of CGH. So it'll really match and tie in. Because I've got mop cypress, which are there, and I have the drift roses, and I have nepeta, hibiscus, and some autumn fire sedum. And some of that there's some of that all right there on the front in the planting. So, and this bed will be completely wiped out. The guys won't like it, but they're going to have to take the river rock out. There isn't a lot, but there is river rock. But, you know, what they'll be able to do is they can put it on the blacktop and scoop it up, so it'll be real easy to just rake off and that. And they'll have to hack the tree out. Now, this tree I think it's a type of crab. So what we'll have to do is put some sort of stump killer or whatever on the fresh cut, because if we don't, it'll come up. Now, if you've got a big evergreen and you want to take it out, you don't have to dig it out. You can plant around it. You might have to chop a few roots, but if you cut an evergreen off at ground level, it's not going to come back, so you don't have to worry. But shrubs, you know, like burning bushes, we've had to take many of those out. Barberries, anything like that, you're going to have to get as much out as you can. Otherwise, they're going to grow back and that. And yeah, this should be pretty good. They don't push snow, thank goodness, up onto this. Now they might go down the sidewalk and blow snow, but that's no big deal. And it hasn't affected the front of the CGH. We did that about 6 or 7 years ago, and it, wherever they do the snow removal, it hasn't affected that. But you look at all different things. This will be bright, full sun. It's on the south side of the building. The hibiscus come up like almost probably a month earlier than normal hibiscus that we plant in people's yards because it's south facing where I have some already planted. There's bricks there, and the heat off that just heats up the soil a lot better. And most of the time when we landscape like this, we'll have to bring in some probably soil compost after we take the rock out and things like that. Sometimes we don't have to do that if the soil is really shitty and really clay. We always bring it in, and we always, if it's up near the house, we always slope it away from the house. Now in Scott Hibbard's plan, he wants, every time we do anything, he wants the soaker hoses underneath the mulch, so he can just hook it up, or June, his wife, can just hook it up and water. And it's very efficient. Hopefully they'll have soaker hoses this year. I could not find them last year for the life of me. And then of course the supply and demand is the way it's happening all around. We feel the pains with plants and supplies too. So. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to show you how freaking fancy I am. When I get a call and somebody wants a landscape, me to look at a landscape and do something, this is what I write it on, an envelope. So I can lose it and not know where the hell I got to go.
So high tech, bud.
Or when I got to do. But anyway, today, I just thought I'd show you that. Today a lady called the shop and wants some soil compost brought in for her flower beds. I've got to go look at them. I'm still driving. I have to go to Oregon, and we go to Oregon and stuff like that. But I just don't understand why gas always has to go up right when we start work. Every year. Freaking, it can be 50 cents cheaper a gallon, but when we start work, it's back up.
Stuart's got a question. Ready?
If it's legitimate. If it isn't, don't even say it.
Oh, I just have to.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Compass points, question mark.
Compass?
Compass points.
I mean,
yeah, so while you're thinking about what that might mean, Scott Reel said, Bud needs a mustache like Craig Higgin Knight from Wallace's Garden Center on Channel 8 News on Wednesdays.
I know him. He's a nice guy.
Yes, yes.
I've known him for a long time.
Get those handlebars going.
Speaking of that, saying his name, the flower show in the Quad Cities that I used to go, what was it called? Symphony in Bloom when it first started. Now it's called the Quad City Flower and Garden Show. But when the Symphony in Bloom was there, the ladies that the Quad City Symphony that did it was really, I enjoyed it. I think I would have to say I enjoyed it better than the regular Quad City Flower Show, but met a lot of great people down there. He was one of them. And I would always get to see, and the reason where I'm going with this is this week Ashley Zell, that owns Lundstrom's now, messaged me, but Quinn and I were out and about, and I mean out of town, like in Walnut and Prophetstown. But Ann Lundstrom's stopped by Lundstrom's, and she actually posted some pictures that were really cool that I had never seen before. There was a picture of Mrs. Lundstrom and Robert that I had seen before, and that, but Mrs. L, as I called her, and as Sherry out in California called her, Mrs. L, was a great boss. She was probably the best person I ever worked for. She really taught me a lot, really believed in me, and I was 13 years old. She even still cared about me after Matt put me through the window of a church and the pastor of the church yelled and Matt let go of me and I dropped and hit the floor. And
What?
he thought we were breaking in, so I had to tell him.
Wait, you were trying to deliver.
We were trying to set up a wedding. And the doors were locked. And then the pastor started laughing. He goes, the back door's open.
How old were you when that was going on?
Probably 15, 16.
Oh my goodness.
And to fast forward to Distinctive Gardens, we landscaped that church. I'm sure the pastor is not there anymore, but that's a story in itself. But
I got clarification on the old compass points from Stuart. He wants to know if you mark your drawings, you know, so,
Well,
so
no.
you know where north, south, east, and west is for the sun.
Right. I used to, Stuart, yes. I used to put a little arrow with the pointing north, and I probably should do that. But since I have such a photographic memory,
Oh my God.
I know what I'm doing, Stuart. So I don't need.
Aw, Susan Marie says, prefer Bud over Craig any day. Craig H.
Right. But anyways, it's pretty simple. People said, why don't you get a computer program and do that? They said, why don't you get a new truck when they see me in my 67 Chevy? And that's just the type of person I am. I think this, and the other thing, I don't know if you can see it on there, you guys, but I get to color with colored pencils.
I don't have it up right now.
But anyway, that's how I color the drawing, and I put colors on there so they know what the plant, kind of how they'll flower and things like that. But I don't know. I just tell people this is a lot more personal because I'm doing it by hand versus doing it on a computer.
Well, I think you can think differently too.
Right.
There's just something about that.
This is just the way I've always done it, and I tell you what, I'm not going to change. I'm too old, and it's not going to happen. This is the way I'm going to do it till I stop doing it. So if you want a computer drawing, you ain't getting it here. But if anybody does need any help with any landscaping, and like I went to Becky, I was going to say.
How would you, if you were to try to give tips on if they want to try it themselves?
I guess if you want to do the landscaping yourself.
No, I mean the drawing, the design part of it, making a drawing.
Well, I would say, when you do your drawing, like I said, 1 square equals 1 foot or 1 square equals 2 foot on your graph paper. Make sure you put windows in and doors, sidewalks, because then you'll know, how you want to make the beds and the shape of the beds. I don't do too many 45-degree beds anymore because, like I said, the weed whacking and stuff like that.
So how do you know where to place a plant? I'm just picking your brain just to get you to talk a little bit. So let's say you're dealing with
If it's
North Wind's maple. How do you know how much space to give plants in general?
Because I know how big it gets.
Okay.
That's my answer. I know how big it gets. I won't put it up 2 feet from the house. Now, Lori Bueller, we planted one at hers, but it's about 8 feet from the house. I told her maybe when it gets mature in probably 10, 15 years, that we might have to trim, and if she wants me to, no, 10, 15 years, I ain't going to be the one that comes out and trims it, believe me. But, might need to be trimmed a little bit. But, some of the stuff, like I'll plant mop cypress and I give them enough room. And on these drawings, I kind of space stuff out. And when I give the people an estimate, I may say it needs like 6 of this, 7 of that, 8 of that. Well, when I go to the site, I may be wrong. After I set the plants, I might go, man, that's too many plants in there. I don't want it to look like hell and be overcrowded and that just to sell plants and that. So I may not need as much. And there's been times where I thought, well, I need a few more plants and I have to plant a few more things and that. So, but I like to space the stuff out like the mop cypress and like the moonfrost hemlocks, which are evergreens, and they're smaller evergreens. Don't shear them. I tell the people now, and I can't remember, I went by one place and I told the people, I go, there's plenty of room, don't shear these. And they sheared them, and they just aren't made to be sheared the way they grow and the way they look. If you want to shear something into a donut or a square, I'll plant a U for you. and it'll grow anywhere. But I just, there's just certain things, and you as a homeowner, I mean, if you have a spot, like say you have a spot and you want ideas and you just can't do it, we can do the ideas, and if you want to do the work, I got no problem with that. We're doing it all, and any phases. When I went to Becky Kent's house up in Milledgeville this week, she said, I got 2 spots, but I want to do this spot first. And I said, that's fine. I said, we'll do the front part first. And then I said, if you like that and we get it done, and then you want to do the back part next year, that's fine. And I don't mind that and doing that. And we've got another guy that we're just going to plant a big magnolia tree for this year.
So do you have certain plants that when you go to a site and you kind of see, I guess I'm curious, you sit down in front of that piece of paper, do you have certain plants that are kind of your starter plants that you use for anchor elements in the drawing?
Yeah, in the shade, evergreen-wise, I'll use the hemlocks, Gensch White or Moon Frost, evergreen shade, or yew.
And then you kind of build the design around.
Right. And then if you want deciduous stuff that like I'm going on shade, and you want to do shade, I like using like oak leaf hydrangeas, Little Henry's Virginia Sweet Spire can grow in shade. And then perennial-wise, any of the Heucheras, the Dicentra, do real well in the shade.
So you kind of work from focal point
the
plant to maybe ground cover type plants.
Yeah, the perennials usually go in last. And you can see if you've got full sun, you're going to get drift roses because the colors and the flowers, and everybody gets hibiscus from me. We sell every single hibiscus we have because there isn't a freaking drawing that I don't do that doesn't have a hibiscus. And believe me, when I put them in, people love them. And, I got a call last year, what variety of hibiscus is that down at Curate in Dixon? And I told Jesse, I wanted to do this and make sure it looked good and make sure it stayed looking good because it's a selling point. I can't tell you how many drift roses and hibiscus that we have sold because of that job. So it's I got paid to advertise.
Gina's with us now.
Oh, hi, Gina.
And Carol Spencer said there's nothing wrong with that. And I think she was referring to you saying that you just like to do things by hand. You have the right to be you.
Thank you, Carol. So I think that's probably about it, landscaping. And there's been challenges. We don't do like hardscaping. I mean, if it's a small wall and it's not a big area, I'll have Quinn and them guys do it. But if it's anything big, like a patio, like Nyla Wenchel we had to do, she wanted a patio put in and stuff like that. And
she's watching. Yeah,
and
Nyla's with us.
Denny Beck did. I work a lot with Denny Beck. We do a lot of things together. He helps me out seeding or that, and he did not. He tore all the stuff out of Nyla's too. So, and I got your drawing too done. I have to get a hold of you for the front. They had their front of their house had a new sidewalk put in and stuff, and she told me that they were going to have that done, and now I get to have fun playing around with the front of their yard, and it'll be nice. They got a nice little like courtyard type garden that'll be out front because of the sidewalk the way it is.
Nyla says, so ready for spring. Come on, bud, bring it on.
I tried, and the freaking weatherman said it's going to snow Monday. Son of a bitch, just right when we're going to start. The guys are all coming back. Race is coming back on Monday. They're going to go out and start cleaning up, and it's going to snow.
Yep, that's the way it goes.
Paid to lie.
But we're going to be tackling hardscaping in our own backyard this summer.
Yeah, if it has to do with flagstone, which we did one with Schmitz.
Natural stone,
I'll do it in a heartbeat. I don't know what it is. It's something about the manufactured stuff I struggle with. And Denny's so much faster, and he has all the saws and stuff than me. It's just something that I'm not 100% interested in. But if it's flagstone or I shouldn't say or bricks, we're going to do bricks here. I probably wouldn't do bricks for somebody else, but if it's natural stone, I'll tackle it. I think it's fun to work with. It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
For sure.
And I enjoy it yet. I still like to go out and do it. Quinn does most of the stuff. He can do the drawings now, or take the drawing and set the plans. And sometimes, that's what, I don't know what we do without these phones. But, he'll FaceTime me and go, hey, how does this look? If he's got a question, sometimes he thinks that there may be too many plants in that. And he makes the call himself. He said, I think there was too many. We spread them out and didn't plant 3 of these and that. So, they let me know, and it's fine. It's fine. So that's the rest of the story.
Really?
But yeah, that's about it with the landscaping. I enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoy it. I've been doing it a long time.
It's been fun the last couple of years being able to blow up the backyard, and we can't say that. What's that phrase they say? The cobblers' kids are always shoeless, or something like that. We've been like that for about the last 10 years, but last 2, we got to do some stuff in our yard. So
yeah, but the only problem is I wished I was 40, not 60.
I know.
3 years old.
It's fun watching, or
it's not fun hobbling around. Like today, we're just putting that mosaic. I don't know if you guys have seen the cedar wood that Lisa pickled with different color paints, and we made a mosaic on the table, which was the size of the wall, and now we're putting it on the wall. But when you got to do it, you got to turn and stretch. Oh, Jesus, God.
They'll see it next week, because there's going to be kind of some plant arrangement type things going on.
Oh, yeah, your mama was a kokedama?
Yeah, your mama was a kokedama, and we're going to do a little demo, and then...
Lisa is going to do the demo.
Kind of show you how we thought about placement, interior scaping in the bedroom.
Yeah, that's been a fun project.
Sue wants to know how Jameson's doing.
Oh, what happened today? This is... he amazes me because and he's been doing this since he could talk. It amazed Lisa and I, the sentences he could put together and that. And, just today when he was telling me, about being congested and stuff like that. And he used that word. I'm congested. I have allergies. I have to take a pill. Sometimes the smoke from Bapa bothers me, so I have to leave the garage. And that's exactly how he did it. It's like a freaking grown-up talking, but he's a little shit. And he's got all the energy of a little shit.
Yeah.
But he went to this week, he had such a blast because first he rode with me. I think we just rode around CGH picking the pots up, and then he wanted to go in the box truck with Dad. So I took the car seat out of my truck and put it in the box truck, and he rode in the box truck and helped us unload the stuff and just having him there, even though he's not doing a lot, I think is important because it'll start to teach him and get him interested and stuff. So he's doing fine. He keeps Grandpa on his toes, believe me, especially when he says, let's race, and Grandpa's dumb enough to do it.
Then Grandpa needs a nap.
Grandpa can't run. Yeah, I needed a nap after that. I can't run with a shit anymore. My knees aren't the same.
Yeah.
Is there any questions about landscaping or about if you got
guys
plants?
Got any questions?
Plants in your landscape that you're not 100% sure what to do with and that. So, and you'll see the guys out. And you'll see the kids. The kids are gonna. We've got 3 of them working spring break, and then they won't be back till the end of May. Ainsley, Thomas, Owen, and Connor, and Race, and Quinn. That's our crew.
Yeah, we have the delay, so it might be a little bit if there is any questions.
Yeah, if there's any questions, or if there's...
Or tell us what you're thinking about doing in your yard this year. Oh,
Right.
Scott Real, what is he saying? I had a large maple tree taken out about a year ago.
Yep.
and the stump ground out.
Yep.
Spread some lime to neutralize the acidity of the soil and put some topsoil over it. For some reason, grass seed germinates over it, but then dies off. What am I doing wrong?
Well, first of all, it was a maple tree. And I'm not sure why you would put lime down because a maple is alkaline more than it is acidic. You know, if you had a pine tree or an oak tree, I could see you doing that. I'm not sure why you'd put lime down and that. And I'm not sure, didn't we bring some soil in? I thought we brought soil in for you guys. I'll have to look at that, Scott, when we come to top dress your raised beds with some more compost soil this spring.
Well, if it is germinating though and then dies off, I don't know when, I mean, if it gets hot, it needs.
You got to water the shit out of it.
Yeah.
The other thing is, don't buy, and I know that not everybody can do this because it's, expensive, but don't buy grass seed by Acme Engineering, because what you're getting is a bunch of freaking annual grass that dies off and doesn't grow worth a shit. And Scott, if that isn't that big of
Well, what would you recommend?
what I would do if it was me, Scott, what I would do is I would get that area all raked off and smooth, and I would sod it, because where the stump's at isn't that big of an area.
That's true.
And sod over that, and then you water the sod every single day. Not every 2 days or every 3 days, every single day.
Yeah.
Till it gets really good and established, and it'll be fine. Because where that's at. That's the west side of this house. That's going to be full sun. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you how many rolls you can need, and if you want us to do it, we can put the sod. Quinn's laid sod before. We can lay the sod down and then put some grass seed around it. But it should be good grass seed. I thought we seeded that. Maybe we didn't seed there. I'm not sure. I thought we seeded an area, but maybe we didn't. Or we did. If we did and it didn't come up, we can do it again.
Stuart made a comment, per mom, getting old ain't for sissies. Sure. And then Carol Spencer has a question. Do you know anything about European cypress?
I don't know what a European cypress is.
Yeah.
I would have to know the Latin name. Camacypris would be the cypress part,
right.
But I don't know if you got the Latin name specific. And the reason I'm saying that, not to be a jerk and say, well, I got to know the Latin name. It's just that then I can tell you exactly what plant it is, because there's a ton of cypresses, and they can grow different and do different things. I just would want to know and maybe if you Google European cypress and it says Camacypris something, if you just message me, Carol, I can look it up and see what's going on. I'm not familiar with just a European cypress.
Well, I would assume that there's a variety of cypresses that are indigenous to Europe. So that gets you started in terms of...
And there's stuff that's, like I tell people before, there's stuff on the West Coast that's the same plant that's in the East Coast or in the Midwest, and there's a completely different freaking name for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
It is what it is. So
anyway. I got no more questions.
All right. Well, that should be it for tonight. Landscaping.
I think we got Stuart and Mary Ann stopping over for coffee tomorrow.
Well, I look forward to seeing Mary Ann Hella Stewart. He just comes over to...
First day that's decent enough where we won't be completely freezing.
I think it's supposed to be 64.
Out on the deck.
But then Monday it's supposed to snow.
Okay, well, we don't need to talk about that.
Oh.
All right, so Deborah Stevens says, thank you, Lisa and Bud. I always learn something when I tune in. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Yep.
Maybe it's time. Is it time?
Time has come today.
Time has come today. I don't know if John's with us or not.
Chambers Brothers.
All right.
And I have problems like this trying to get these drawings
Oh,
in there.
I do have a question.
Oh, okay.
Got one that slid in, and then we have John. Okay, so Debbie Schumann wants to know, I have a sweet autumn clematis on the northeast corner of my pergola.
Yep.
And am planning to plant the lab bean to grow in with it. I know it grows well on the east side, not sure about the north. How much sun does it need?
Well, as long as they get 4 or 5 hours of sun, I think it would be fine. And the hyacinth bean, which is a lab, isn't an aggressive vine. And ours are all up about this high. We've got them growing right now. Great annual vine to plant, instead of a morning glory. I've always liked that better than the morning glory. It isn't as finicky and always has done a good job for us when we plant it. And don't worry, the autumn clematis, I cut mine down to about this high every year.
What's that high, 12 inches?
Yeah, 12 inches.
Okay, because you were cut off. All right, I think that was it.
All right, you guys, thank you.
All right, John queued us up, and then everybody else tuned in too. So peace and love
Thank you.
to everyone.
Thanks for
Peace.
watching.
Have a great, great weekend.
Enjoy it.
Oh, tomorrow's going to be sunny and 60.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be sunny. It's going to be 60.
Well, I'll take the 60.
Yep.
All right, so peace.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Take
you
care.
guys. All right.